This is your good guy, Dr. Cortez D. affectionately also operates as Coach Sin. Hey, so this is a really quick Thursday thought here. I hope it is, but I think it's going to be very disruptive because my topic that it came to me today, and I'm just kind of chewing on it, just kind of meditating on it, and I'm just like, at the end of the day, I want somebody to know, whoever gets this video, you have nothing to prove to people. Let me say that again. You have nothing to prove to people. And I'm laughing because as I'm saying this one more time, you have nothing to prove to people. I realized that I had a background and a past of doing things to prove to people. And the reason why I can encourage you guys to send this to everybody you know, to remind them, make sure that your intent in everything that you're doing and your motive is not to prove to people. And also, keep in mind when people say, well, you need to prove this to yourself. Well, just know that you are part of the people. You don't even have to prove to yourself. All you need to do is just operate and be. Just operate in it. You don't have to do things just so you can prove to people for the acceptance. Now, the reason why I can laugh about this is because I had a past history, as I was just saying, that I didn't realize that I was operating like that. And why was I operating like that? In some instances, and then some instances longer than other instances, it's because I was environmentally influenced. I was environmentally influenced by other people that's what their angle was. Their angle was to prove a point, to keep their reputation, to keep an image, and want people to accept them. And that's what I think I need to do in order to keep my status a certain way. And I'm just like, where did we get this foolishness, dysfunctional behavior from? Because we want to be accepted so bad. So then we could feel that that's where the respect comes. That's when people gonna call on me the most. It's gonna make me feel inclusive. But here's what the reality is. The areas that really matter the most is where people are not able to be invited in. When it's time to eat, when it's time to go to the doctor for physical checkups, when it's time to take a shower to make sure that you're very hygienic, clean, when it's time to make sure that your mental status, is on level, that is stable, when it's time to make profound, informed decisions, when it's time to make up your mind to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and apply for this position, when it's time to make career choices, when it's time to accept other things that you do not like about yourself. Where are these people? You don't have to make these different declarations or make these sent outs, I should say, send yourself out there to try to prove yourself to someone. For what? Who gets the approval anyway? The Most High, the Heavenly Father. And at the end of the day, accept your own activity. Say, hey, I don't think I did too bad today. And it has nothing to do with having to prove something to someone else. Be accepting of your own progress and say, hey, you know what? If I just decided to be a bum today, whatever bum constitutes to be, hey, I just want to lay around because I work all of the time. And some people say, well, that's not being lazy. That's just resting. That's just giving yourself a mental break. And so that's the thing. All of these different things that we feel like we have to mask up, put a costume on, put a wig on, put a hat on, all these put-ons and turn-ons is nothing but performance. And that's not integrity. But here's the deal. When you operate in your truism, when you operate and being authentically you, whatever you looks like, even if you feel like, hey, I'm not the best, but be that. Whatever level that's on. Because to someone else, they're like, hey, you know what? I love how you operate in the most simplest form. So once again, stop trying to prove yourself to people. Stop doing that. And once you stop, you realize, oh, wow, look how much pressure came off of me. And all of these different things, trying to get people to love you and all these different things, at the end of the day, most of the people that you're trying to get to love you, which is a lot of work, a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations that provides disappointment, all right? You'll find yourself going into a whole whirlwind that most people don't think about you that much like that until there's a new scenario or a new subject matter. So once again, I just want to encourage you guys, stop trying to prove yourself to people. Don't be trying to prove yourself to people. Take yourself out of that cyclone wheel. Take yourself out of that situation to try to prove yourself. Men do it, women do it, and then guess what we do? We put pressure on children to try to get them to prove to us that they deserve. What? A lot of pressure. And then when the child raised up, and we think about this, we were one of those children, one of those individuals that became a child, will find ourselves operating like our parents did because this is what we taught them out of ignorance. So because ignorance simply means in some facets that we didn't know any better and we ignored what could be the real truth, what could really, really help us. So I didn't want to elaborate with this thing a long time. I know I'm going to upset some people with this ideology and this different mindset, but this is something that we have to kind of really take accountability on to say, let me ask myself, let me do some self-assessment, not people assessment, not to see what they have to say, or let's get a survey or get an audience on how we perform. Now that has its place when you're doing your homework and you're asking trusted people who have proven themselves to love you and will tell you the truth about you, and they will love you in truth, and they still want to be with you. And they don't have other motives of just coming around you just because they can get something from you, or what you do to them, or the influence you get from them, or you just being the good old good looking eye candy. All right, so this is your guy, Dr. Cortez D. Sims, Coach Sims. Just want to give you a coaching Thursday thought for today, just to let you know, tell these people around you, but most of all, tell yourself, I have nothing to prove to you. And the more you get that in your system, the more you can relax yourself. Because guess what? As you operate in being yourself, it automatically proves. The more you continue to move forward with your own personal development, it automatically proves people wrong. It automatically proves people probably right. It automatically don't do any approval. And that's what you have to stay out of the parameters on. Stay out of those regimes, stay out of those different phases, stay out of that graph chart. And don't put yourself in a category. Just continue to be. You have so many years to live. Live. And if you don't know how to live, ask other people and say, hey, you have a lifestyle that I kind of acquired, and I want to live bountiful like that. But I don't want to do it to prove myself to people. I want to make sure that I can really operate in excellence that I've always dreamed of, and my goals are meeting, my goals for myself. I'm just soaring. I'm just doing this thing. So once again, I love you. Take care. Take charge. And spread this video to everyone you know, and say, hey, I just want to remind you of something. Whatever you're doing, don't do these things just to prove yourself to people. You have nothing to prove. Just operate and be. Take care. Take charge.